And there he is, the one, the only, the famous man, Dan
Good
Listick from Wow
morning.
Branding. I know it's funny because you've been all these years creating brands for me and other people, and I would say thousands of brands over the last 25 years. And now you have your brand of your own. How's that feel?
Yeah, it's good, not without its challenges. So it's definitely less responsibility when we're making it for somebody else, and way more work when you have to make it work all the way through. So no, but it's been great. I mean, it's a passion project and something that both myself and my daughter, who's my partner in this, is we're excited to be doing for sure.
So Insalted. For people who don't know, and you're a partner on our store, so people can go get it there or get a discount there. So Insalted, why did you come up with Insalted? What was the idea around it, and what problem is it solving?
Well, you and I have been talking for years about how hydration is one of the core, let's call it one of the core disabilities that people have. And it's one that's very easy to control. And so I think with, like over the years, I kept hearing hydration, hydration, hydration. And I was shocked to learn that water is not enough, or water on its own is not enough to hydrate you. And so um, about a year and a half ago, we started on this development train for creating an electrolyte drink mix. And one of the things that we learned is that people need way more sodium than what we've been told. The
Right.
recommended intake is 2,300 milligrams. A lot of the latest science and research is showing 2 to 3 times that is probably more normal. And for people who are athletes or live in hot climates, the requirement is even higher. So we made what we call a high potency electrolyte drink mix. It's got 900 milligrams of sodium, potassium, and also magnesium in there. So it's got a full complement. But the real kicker is, and you guys have this as well, we're sweetened with Glyvia. And so it's a glycine-based sweetener, no blood sugar impact, no insulin impact, helps with nutrient absorption. And we just thought that was a real key. My daughter developed a sensitivity to stevia, and we were using another brand, which I still love. I mean, they're a great brand called Element, but they're full of stevia, and started giving my daughter headaches. And so, when we had this opportunity to create an electrolyte with Glyvia, we kind of jumped on it. And so we spent about 6 months trying to figure out the formula, trying to make salt taste half decent. And,
You know,
so here we are.
the difference between Glyvia and stevia is um, stevia in itself does not regulate your blood sugar, but what we have found in all kinds of testing, we've had literally tens of thousands of people that have reflected back to us, is that their blood sugar drops immediately within minutes of taking the fascial sweet or the Glyvia, the
Yeah.
product behind it. Where when you're talking about energy, one of the biggest draws on energy in the human body is the production or overproduction of hormones. Because as your hormones swing up here, your blood sugar dips, and then they cross as they cross, this is where all of the energy, like that's why when you eat food, you have a blood sugar drop. Now, it's interesting when you take Insalted, if you eat food, and I'm not a big proponent of drinking a lot of water after food. I like to let the food digest. But if you go 30 to 5 minutes or 40 minutes after you eat food, when you're normally getting that sugar crash, blood sugar crash, and you take a small amount of Insalted and water and you drink it, you won't have the food coma. That's what I've experienced.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. We've had so much interest lately in I'm not sure if it's a community, but I'll call it a community, in the fasting community. And, people are reporting it helps to curb any sugar cravings. It helps to get them through, whether they're doing like a half day fast, or a 16/8 type of intermittent
It
fast, or whether they're doing a one
does.
day fast. So that's actually kind of interesting, as well. And I know, talking with Franco, the developer of Glyvia, those curbing those sugar cravings is actually, is huge, right? Especially for, people who are struggling with weight management. So yeah, it's interesting. I think, one of the things is really all we're really doing is trying to make salt taste half decent, and try to make something a little more interesting than just drinking plain water. And but like we tell people, our making a really good electrolyte is pretty simple to do at home. A pinch of sea salt, a squeeze of lemon, and some clean water, right? Some good, clean, filtered, unchlorinated water. And you've got a perfectly good electrolyte drink mix for, that you can do on your own, right? But, we come in 4 flavors. Our most popular is mango passion fruit, which is just pretty easy to like. My wife really loves the lemon ginger. It's got a bit of a bite to it. I'm a huge fan of the grapefruit. It's pretty much the only one I drink now.
I'm grapefruit all
Yeah.
the way. Yeah,
Yeah. You guys must be out of it by now too,
we
right?
are.
So, and
Yeah,
it's
we're sadly out of it.
a pain to ship to Mexico. So we'll have
You
to
just,
figure.
you know what? You just relabel it, like fecal matter or something like that, and it just
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
biological waste product.
Yeah. Actually, one of the nice things too, we're based in Vancouver, Canada, and the irony is we're finally now available, on Amazon here in Canada. We had to jump through a whole bunch of regulatory hoops and stuff. So I know a lot of people have been asking about that. So it is on Amazon.ca now, which is kind of nice. So
So, so Dan, a couple other things. There's a lot of confusion between like I got to have a pinch of salt and what are electrolytes like Element, the brand that you mentioned. What's with no salt? Like why?
yeah, I think
I'll preface it with sodium holds water.
right. Yeah. So look, I think certain things have been demonized over time, and certainly in our lifetime, fat got demonized by sugar. So it was avoid the fats, eat the carbs, and we saw what happened with that. A lot of dietary myths. For example, even like if you have high cholesterol, don't eat things with cholesterol, like eggs or
Eggs,
meat, like that. And again, dietary cholesterol does not create cholesterol, right?
correct.
It's completely different mechanisms, even though it makes sense. Like if you don't want to be fat, don't eat fat. If you don't want to have cholesterol, don't eat cholesterol. And then, salt is one of those ones that's been demonized because it's associated with high blood pressure, right? So people who have poor kidney function or, suffer from high blood pressure are told to avoid salt because one of the very reasons is salt helps retain water, and it by default will build up the pressure. It is also one of the reasons why people who suffer with POTS or from POTS syndrome are being asked to take 5 to 10,000 milligrams of sodium a day or more because they actually have low blood volume, right? So it's yeah, there's a lot of myths, and I think again this whole thing of we had one person on our Instagram a couple of months ago going, oh my God, 900 milligrams of sodium? Are you guys crazy? Right. And they just kept trolling us. Oh my God, 900, you guys can't do that. 40% of my sodium intake in one little packet, And so people are very militant about, or not, maybe militant isn't the right thing. They've been indoctrinated for so long about what to think about salt that you can't really blame them, right? But new information has come out. Alberta has certainly built their brand. They're north of $100 million in revenue. They've built a beautiful brand on the whole more salt concept. It's definitely a thing.
There's some gaping holes, but I always say to people, in the between the 30s and the 50s, 4 out of 5 doctors recommended smoking even while pregnant. And during the 50s through to the 80s, it was okay to spray DEET and amongst all the neighborhoods where the children are playing. And we used to believe that fluoride was okay to put in the body, and it's actually listed as a cytotoxin, a neurotoxin. So, what are we saying today that we're saying is science about the human body that we're going to go 10, 15 years from now and say that was stupid? And when do we just look at the body's response rather than the science? Because when somebody's running, like an endurance athlete or a cyclist, and they literally just put a little bit of insulted, just a small drink. If they're running out of energy and you give them some, boom, the electrical wires start firing again. All of a sudden, the energy comes back
Yeah.
instantaneously.
I mean, there's if you know, or people on this live, if they know people who are long distance runners or marathon runners, the vast majority of them will run with salt pills.
Yeah.
They'll take a tablet, and there's what's the brand called? I think it's called Salt Sticks, right? They're literally little salt
Yeah,
tabs
that's what
that you put in.
we give the cows. We give them blocks, so we're just like cows.
Yeah, that's true. Salt licks. That's right. Yeah. 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 So, again, it's one of these things. It's obviously it's not for everybody. I mean, we're not going to go against any doctor recommendations. Obviously, we're not doctors ourselves, but we've read enough, and the feedback that we're getting now, and the movement towards having more salt in the diet, and of course, not salt in potato chips or salami, but salt that's coming from a healthful source, and you and I again both know, like we built Insalted on this concept of a resilient body. So, and I think one of the cornerstones of a resilient body is proper hydration, right?
It is the most important.
Having loose and healthy fascia and mobility and all that stuff, I think again is key. But I tell people, if you go to the hospital, one of the first things they'll do before they almost even ask you any questions is they'll hook you up to an IV drip. Right. And the whole purpose of that IV drip, which is a saline solution, and it's got other little, vitamins and minerals and stuff in it as well. But the whole idea there is, unless you're hydrated properly, nothing works well.
Yeah.
Right. So you won't medication, you won't respond to, your mood will improve, like all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, hydration is core. And I don't like to use the word dehydrated because that to me I always picture like a prune or like an overly sunbathed 90-year-old or something like that. But we like to call it underhydrated, right? And I think being ideally hydrated is where we're at. And I think being overhydrated is almost impossible. I think you'll piss it out, right? Or sweat it out. But underhydrated.
The the number one cause of dehydration in professional and amateur athletes is overconsumption of water, because when we drink filtered water today, it's demineralized. If we don't put the minerals back in, then the water itself, what water does, it goes over a rock, and as it goes over a rock, it creates a wear pattern and eventually drill a hole through it over time, because it's taking the minerals, which we then drink. When we filter it, we take the minerals out.
Right.
And that means that when we drink H2O, we actually take the minerals out of our rock, our crystal. So this is why putting minerals back in, because today our water is demineralized, and officially in textbooks for nutrition and medication and medical school now, they're saying the body is 60 to 65% water, where it's been 70 to 80% water since the history of mankind. So we now even have proof in our education system that we are underhydrated.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, I think again, it's all about finding optimum. Another thing that people ask us too is like, what's the ultimate ratio of electrolytes? And with everything that I've seen, I just don't think there's such a thing.
There's not.
Right? I mean, everybody talks.
Because it depends on your body. You have to have silica on your body. If you don't have silica on your body, you have to have more electrolytes. Because, but if you have silica on your body, you consume less water because you hold more of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and one of the big things that Gatorade sort of started this thing in the 60s, 70s, with ORS for like optimal replenishment, right? And it's a fact that sugar does help the absorption of electrolytes. The problem is that with Gatorade or with commercially food colored beverages, there's a lot of calories, there's a lot of sugar, and it's absolutely unnecessary. One of the nice things with the Glyvia as well is it helps with nutrient absorption. So it helps the uptake, getting
amino acid.
Into
it's
the
amino acid. It literally helps with you absorbing nutrients.
Yeah. And so So sugar is, again, it's a cheap way of doing it, but it's not the most healthful. And I think, again, a lot of people just want to stay away from any unnecessary sugars, or at least added sugars in this manner. So yeah, like I said, hydration it's a very personal thing. But now I'm on a habit of every morning that we are, every morning I have a glass of Insalted in a water bottle. So I sip that for about an hour, and then I'm usually on a tennis court by 7 a.m. if I'm up at 6. And so being hydrated for that first hour just makes a world of difference. So yeah, yeah. Like I said, I think, I know we have some samples, I think, that are available. Not I think they are available through. You can find them on the Human Garage store in the partner section. We
Oh, we got
charge.
samples?
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
You get one of each flavor, so all 4 flavors. It is $2, which doesn't even cover the cost of shipping. But basically, it's free. We just have $2 just to help cover some of the costs, and it's a great way to try it. And what we're really looking for now is just feedback from people. Tell us what flavors you like, which ones you don't like. Is it too salty? Is it too sweet? But yeah, let us. We
So
hope
great. So
more
they
people.
can go get samples. Okay, and it's the stick packs. It's a four
Yeah,
pack of samples that you ship out to
yeah,
them. That's awesome. That's perfect. $2. How can you lose on that?
yeah, yeah. You can't, but we can. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, it's good. I think we found, we don't want people to commit to buying, like a big box of the stuff and then go, I don't like it. What we found is just having people try it. We've been doing demos and, in different places. We were in Seattle a couple of weekends ago at some spin studios and had some great success there. Did another one here the last weekend, here. Yeah, getting people to try it is really the key. So, we just encourage people.
We got our tour. So we canceled LA on the April 20th, but we have another LA event I think we're going to announce before that. And then we're doing the Austin event, which is going to be roughly about 3,000 people.
Yeah.
And we're doing the New York event that you definitely want to show up at.
Yeah, that looks cool, actually. Yeah, spirituality _week. I like it. Yeah,
Well, they do have spirituality week too, but right now it's underscore.
that's right.
Yeah, they're moving to the unified. So Dan, listen, people can find you on Amazon, or they can go to our website. Please support our whole efforts as
Yeah,
well. Go to our website under our products and our partners and find Insulted. Click through there. If you're uncertain, spend the $2, get the gift pack. You're now shipping in Canada and the United States.
yeah, yeah. And if people don't like it, we'll even refund you your $2. So you got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
So
Dan.
okay. Hey, thanks. Good to see you. I wish I
Good to
was
see
there.
you. Take care.
Bye.